Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be looking at Real Madrid. We're obviously deep into the pre-season games now, and I am recording this prior to the Wrexham game, so if I mention anybody that, hang on, he played against Wrexham. Obviously, I'm recording this before the Wrexham game. There's a bit of a unique situation where United have got two games within 24 hours of each other. Not something that you're going to see very often. Obviously something that they've decided to do this pre-season. But because of that, it means that we're having a complete stab in the dark at what the 11s are going to be. Now, obviously, I can't touch on what happened in yesterday's game, as you guys are watching it, because it's happening tonight for me. So we'll see how it goes. So with Real Madrid, I do expect it being our starters. I think the stronger side goes there. Ten Hag in the press conference yesterday sort of alluded to the fact that it's going to be academy players that feature in the other one. And I hope you're seeing people in roles that suit them a little bit more. I'm expecting to see Casemiro over Mainoo. I'm expecting to see maybe Marcus starting as part of the first team in at least the first half. Up front probably as well because of the lack of striker. The last time we played Real Madrid was 2018 in pre-season International Champions Cup game. We beat them 2-1. But we haven't had the best of luck in previous results against them. We've lost 5, drawn 4, won 2 in the 11 competitive games that we played against them. Ancelotti is starting to have some doubt in his management at the moment, with confirmation that he will be taking over a Brazil job after honouring his contract at Madrid. And Madrid are going through a bit of a transitional phase as well. They've obviously had Benzema, Asensio, Hazard leaving the club, and Jude Bellingham looking to probably kickstart a new era. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Mbappe come and join that era, but certainly not in time for this match. How they play? Well, offensively, I do hope I'm not teaching you to suck eggs here, that you know what Real Madrid play like. We know. Against almost everybody in world football, they're going to be about dominance. Very traditionally, Real Madrid set up in a 4-3-3. We've had a fantastic midfield, of which Casemiro was a big part of, with Modric and Kroos for a long time. And they've started to refresh and renew that over the last couple of years, bringing in the likes of Tchouaméni and people like that. So their 4-3-3 is a little bit more lopsided, like a dogleg almost, than United's, which is more of a 2 and a 1. But overall, it doesn't really stray too much from very much traditional 4-3-3 sort of roles. Players have to adapt to get into the team. You've seen the likes of Vinicius, Rodrigo, Camavinga, all stuck out as examples of players that have had to play multiple roles to be able to get into the team and play in their primary or traditional role that we know them for playing. In pre-season so far, Real Madrid have experimented in their setup, and in their first game against AC Milan, we saw probably arguably most of the success in the offense, at least, especially. Bellingham, Valverde, Camavinga, Kroos, all lined up as they went with a 4-1-2-1-2 or a 4-4-2 diamond. And it looked like they started to create a little bit more in central areas because of doing that. Later on in the game, Vinicius and Rodrigo came into the system, and we saw the wings being used once again. They build from the back. They are very versatile. It's a high-risk, high-reward sort of way that they play it. And they play out successfully from the back because the quality that they've got in midfield is, I was going to say, almost unmatched. It certainly merits sitting at the very top table of football as well. They always seem to find space in between the opposition lines. They always seem to do the fundamental things correctly. The receiving on the turn, the receiving, knowing that they're going to take 1-2 touches at most, so they're not going to get caught in possession. The wingers invert. It gives opposition defences something to think about with the quality that they bring in. And if they want to get a shot off, they can beat a man, they can cross it, they can dribble, they can do anything that you would want a midfielder to be doing. Without Benzema, Madrid might struggle. He was a genuine X factor, hasn't been replaced for them just yet. He stepped up and scored goals. Didn't matter if they was absolute bangers. Didn't matter if they were scruffy. He scored goals. He scored a hell of a lot of goals. If he hadn't have been a player in the Cristiano Ronaldo era, he would be going down as one of the all-time greats. It's just unfortunate that he played alongside Ronaldo. The returning striker, Joselu, has probably been playing his best football in years. That gives Madrid a bit more of an incentive. But he won't be an adequate Benzema replacement. And I think they will probably try and bring in Mbappe before the end of this window. I think Real Madrid never want to seem to lose face, never want us to come off raw. And I think if they're losing Benzema, the only way that they can fix that is by getting Mbappe and blowing people away a little bit. Defensively, off the ball, they are getting better and better. The introduction of Bellingham into midfield means that they can adapt to any situation and look impressive while doing it. And Madrid love putting pressure on opposition sides. They thrive on winning the ball back in key areas. They've always had a midfield that's been filled with like real high quality, tenacious players, and the likes of Bellingham, Valverde, Tchouaméni, Camavinga have been an exceptional group, and they do the running for the likes of Kroos and Modric, who just puppet master this shit. They have an experienced, solid defence. Carvajal, Milito, Rudiger, Alaba, Mendy, Vasquez. They've got big game experience. They've got big name. They are quality footballers, and they've got a little bit of depth in the mix as well. And they mostly have got legs and years ahead of them, so I would expect they keep performing at the top level. And they do ship goals, and they've shipped goals a lot to English sides recently as well. Manchester City absolutely outclassed them in the Champions League semi-final last season. Recently, they've conceded 2 to Milan, despite winning that pre-season game. Starting 11, I think, is probably going to look like this: Courtois, Carvajal, Milito, Rudiger, Mendy. Midfield of Kroos, Bellingham and Valverde, which is a little bit on the tasty side. Vinicius, Diaz and Joselu up front. Starman, I like Vinicius. I think he's a real pocket rocket. I think he's a real dangerous player. He's rapid, he's creative, he is skillful. He's extremely confident in himself and his own abilities. He can beat a man. He can make you look stupid while doing it as well. And the likelihood of continuing or contributing to get on the score sheet looks likely and likely the more that he develops. He got 10 goals and 10 assists in 31 last season, with 7 Champions League goals and 5 assists, which is just really good quality numbers. I would be worried about this game because I think Diaz is a serious talent, and I think he will create chances for whoever he links up with. Vinicius is the main outlet, but they've got players who can hurt you all over the pitch. Don't worry about that. For United, I think we go with as close to what I expect our starting 11 to be, and that's going to be Onana getting his debut in goal. I think it'll be Wan-Bissaka on the right, Luke Shaw on the left, and I think it'll be Varane alongside Martinez in defence. I think it will be Casemiro and Mount as a 2 with Bruno just ahead. I reckon Anthony off the right, Garnacho off the left, and Marcus Rashford down the middle. The only change I could see in that, probably Sancho off the right if Anthony's not 100% fit. But that's how I see United shaping up. And this game will be won and lost in midfield. So for that reason, United's key man is going to be Bruno Fernandes. We are going to need our captain to step up and lead the charge. It will be a technical battle in midfield. Taking hold of the ball and playing under pressure is a staple of what Real Madrid are about. And that's going to need to be replicated by United. Can we move the ball into midfield? That's the key thing about this United side. When we have a goal kick, this is where Onana comes in. He's going to have options. Can he find a fullback's first time? Can he find somebody on the halfway line? Can he hit those balls as well as breaking the lines into the defenders, into the midfielders, so United can get on the turn and get over the halfway line? That's what I think United are going to want to focus on. I expect it's going to be hot in Houston, obviously, but I don't think that should take the sting out of the game. I think for at least 45 minutes, I think the gaffer would probably want to make sure that United are really working as hard as humanly possible as part of their ongoing pre-season fitness routine. And I think Bruno brings a little bit of a tenacious edge, and there's a serious vibe about Bruno at the moment as well. He needs to make it difficult off the ball, but needs to make it count in possession. And because United have got two creative outlets in him and Mount, I think there's an opportunity there that you might see United just start creating a shitload of chances. And that's why we're all desperate to bring in a striker, because you give those creative outlets a focal point, someone that's going to bring the rest of the team in, but also get their own shots off. And this United team could really start to go and do something. How do we beat them? Like I just said, the midfield battle is the key area of the pitch. There's so much quality on both sides in the centre of the park. It's going to be difficult for either team, but it'll be crucial. You win that midfield battle and you've gone 60% of the way to winning this game. Have a bit of purpose in possession. Both teams are going to make it difficult for each other. United and Real Madrid are going to look quite similar in terms of how they're trying to achieve what they're trying to achieve. Both, not necessarily full firing up front. Both of us probably on the lookout to add a striker to what we're already doing, which means that the transitions will be important. The wingers will become important. The likes of Rashford and Vinicius and Garnacho will become important. I expect there to be a lot of opportunity on the transition for both teams. And then it's about having a solid defence. Can United's defence out-solid Real Madrid's defence? United's defence this season so far has looked great. Real Madrid's has leaked a few goals. Varane and Martinez, they're going to have to be locked on here because there'll be a lot of movement in and around them in that area. Blend of composure and aggression will do the trick. Fullbacks have to be completely engaged in the game. I thought Shaw had a fantastic season last season. I've been critical of him in the past, but I give him the credit that he deserves when he deserves it, and he deserved it last season. But he had a real tough game against Saka, just couldn't get close to him. That's going to be hard for him this week. Maybe not as hard as the one Wan-Bissaka's going to have, but I think Wan-Bissaka's quite well equipped to deal with what's going to be coming up against him in Vinicius, because he does have world-class 1v1 defending. If he's got a player that wants to run him, I don't really trust anyone more in the world than Wan-Bissaka to be able to shut that down, and that's going to be a real duel down that side. Vinicius up against Wan-Bissaka. But I do believe United can do this. It's how serious can we take it, and hopefully we can finish at least with the first team, because I'm not expecting too much out of the academy. I think they'll probably drop points in a friendly. I think the first team can go and put it on Real Madrid. I think we can go and put it on Dortmund to finish off what would be a sensational pre-season tour. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.